We ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
And we're live. Welcome everyone back to the stream.
Welcome, guys. How are we all going? Let's just make sure that everything's a-okay. That's my one gone live.
Very nice.
We have 3 on each channel. We're streaming from both channels in this live stream. I'm ShizoCrypto. We got Jamie Tree here. Welcome to the stream. I think today we'll start off by just looking at these massive red candles we've been seeing in the market over the past 24 hours. A lot of people would say this is a bit of a bloodbath. It's a substantial drop, but
yeah, an interesting 24 hours with the cryptos. Who was freaking out about 12 hours ago? Look at that red candle. My God. Yeah, so I think 9 a.m. Australian time, we saw it dip down as low as 1650.
Was it about 9 a.m. our time yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember we were looking at 1750 holding as crucial support. So it wasn't pretty when it broke that and broke heavy to the downside, all the way down to 1650. I will say now, with the benefit of hindsight, that just all the price action immediately following the dip into 1650 has been super bullish. So a nice recovery that we saw take place immediately following. So yeah. Oh, we got a where's the hi from Cyprus. Welcome to the chat. Ahmad, welcome. If you're in the chat, let us know your portfolio allocations. We like talking about our viewers' portfolios. We'd like looking at the price action of what they're holding. Let me know what you guys did with the dip that we saw today. We loaded up, so we bought up some more Ethereum. Buy that freaking dip.
Yeah, BTFD,
everyone. But it was scary. That's very scary price action, and in cryptos, you never want to see that. Knowing what cryptos are like. So yeah.
So this was a graph on Ethereum. We had some pretty substantial support lines on this bull run, but look, it's run down. I think we're gonna retest this sort of the horizontal line at about 1750 again. We could potentially keep moving down. I think the most important trend line for this sort of dip would be this one here. You can chuck that on yours as well if you want. But yeah, if you look at the 2-hour graph and see these lows, we're still making higher lows and still moving on the upside. We're seeing some green, so at least we didn't dump down to something like 1500, which in that case I think we would have been panicking. But this is super healthy. We're going up. We came back down. On our last little dip on the 2-hour graph, we saw some fib retracement down to the 50% level again. In these high levels, when the fear greed index is really high, it's super important to be looking at technical analysis, because a lot of these people are purely trading on emotions, who are just new to the scene and buying because of all the buzz around crypto.
Yeah.
And we're going to see these dips down to by 50% down to this level here. I think I personally believe that's what we're seeing now with this little dip. We're going to see it down to the 50% level. It looks almost the exact same as the last dip. So if I just pull this over a little bit,
that's pretty picture perfect. Actually,
just above the 0.618. It's just above the 0.618, and we'll keep moving up. So look, it repeated itself. These little impulse waves are just repeating themselves at this point. So,
so worst case scenario, what support are we looking at? 1670. Here we saw 1720 hold nicely, and we're back above the 1750.
Yeah, now we're back above the 1750. It was just really good to see. I'm really glad we didn't break down to below, any lower. I think we would have been panicking. If it came down to the 786 level, I think that breaks this kind of uptrend of high lows. I think we would have kept moving down, and that's when we would have been panicking. But at this 1700 level, I personally put in buys. I think we all put in buys. These are the kind of things you need to be looking out for in these little dips. This is BTFD. This is when you should be buying.
Yeah, this is buy this freaking dip. If we're seeing, and as soon as this red candle got bought, immediately back up, and it was becoming clear that we were developing a high low. That's your signal to buy the freaking dip.
Yeah, guys, 100% exactly. Look at your trend lines. Look at your fib retracements, especially when the fear greed index is really high. As I said earlier, when the greed, look, we're in extreme greed at a level of 83. On Bybit's a really good place to look at data like this. But we're in extreme greed right now. We're looking at people who are trading. A lot of people are trading on pure emotions. So don't be like them. Don't sell as soon as you see a little red candle. Look at the macroscopic levels on the technical analysis and have a look at where you think it's going to drop to.
Yep.
Trade on those support levels and those resistance levels. We got a comment. Let's see what he said. Brand new here in crypto. I usually see dips here in US at night, meaning other parts of the world seem to sell while we sleep. Thoughts?
Yeah, you're spot on there because we noticed the same thing. So I'm not sure whereabouts you're from, Jason, but we're here from Australia and we noticed the same trend, especially overnight.
I think he's in the US.
Oh, you're
so
in
that's
the US?
Surprising. I feel like a lot of people in the US are.
Yes, interesting. Something that you would...
Morning, Sean.
Morning, Sean. Good to see you back on the stream. Something that normally would point towards is that retail buyers are driving the rallies, and it's not institutional buying. I saw some analytics the other day on institutional buying and how Sunday is the most common day for Bitcoin to run, and that statistic pointing towards the rallies and all the price action being driven by retail holders. So what's interesting is that that's not true. We look at other statistics of institutions getting involved. We're looking at supplies getting sucked off exchanges. We're looking at Bitcoin getting moved into cold storage, and whales accumulating, and that just points to it really just points to institutionals really running this rally, and it not being retail driven. So yeah, it's interesting that you notice that, but I don't think we can sort of pull anything meaningful from it, because the price action and the rallies, it isn't retail driven.
Yeah, well said. This is, I think we're both looking at the Ethereum charts right now.
Yep.
As we said, we both put in buy orders for this little dip. We said that on our last stream as well, that we will be buying if we saw it test that 1700 level. Although it did go down a little bit, it went down just a little bit more. But then we saw it run straight back up. So if you watch our streams, we'll always talk about the upside and the downside and what we'll be trading either swing. So yeah.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are just new to the crypto game and getting into it. Seeing big red moves like what we saw this morning, it is scary, but it's an opportunity when we're seeing higher highs, lower lows. Like, zoom out on the charts, and this is really nothing. It's not even on the radar. Like, look at that. It's not even a blip. We're still in that. We didn't see the $2,000 Ethereum that we wanted to on Valentine's Day, but we're still seeing it just absolutely rip to the upside and the parabolic move upwards. So
yeah,
still hugely bullish price action.
I definitely think from this little impulse that we're going to see a run up to the 2,000 level. I'll move this line down. We're definitely going to see us test this 2,000 level right here, and that'll be our next barrier. So that's lines up perfectly with that kind of uptrend with high highs and high lows, and it's also an emotional trading barrier. A lot of people see it going up towards 2,000 and not sure it's going to break that 000 level. Especially just because we passed 1,000 now. 2,000 is definitely
wow, is
just
that
the next
correct?
big
We
step.
hit 1974. I must have missed that. 1975. Wow. Yeah, and look, I've been watching Bitcoin closely. I put up a poll on the channel the other day.
No, I don't think we did.
You don't think we did?
It's 52-week range, 18 to 71.
1871.
Yeah, I think our graph's just so
1975.
smushed. Oh, really? Wait.
Yeah. See this
Am I on
candle?
Binance? Am I on Binance?
Ethereum.
Oh, you're on
I'm
US dollar.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
because it estimates
Sorry,
it, and it's a little bit off. So maybe we saw a little bit
Damn,
lower
that is
than what it was.
Massive discrepancy.
Yeah, that's
Some
actually
dude
pretty
sold.
significant.
Some dude sold their Ethereum at 1975.
That's huge. But what is
Insane.
interesting is we're probably going to see a few rejections approaching the $2,000 is a huge psychological resistance level.
Yeah.
Just because it's a big round number, and we always see that when we're approaching these big psychological barriers. So we probably can expect to get rejected a few times before we break through it. We saw the same thing, interestingly enough, play out with Bitcoin. It's having these same problems, crushing $50,000, which is a huge psychological barrier. Yeah, we can expect to see the same thing with Ethereum with $2,000. Looks like, yeah, already been rejected once, but just a matter of time, guys. Keep holding, keep holding,
Yep, keep holding.
keep holding.
Let's look at what Bitcoin's done.
And yeah, a little Bitcoin crash, but zoom out on
Guys.
your charts, and it's really a non-event.
Yeah, look, this is some awesome support we've taken at this level as well. On the 2-hour graph, we've seen it try to test this level here. This has been there's another testing support. It's flipped to support, and now it's just kind of bouncing back up off that support line, and now I think we're just going to keep moving on to the uptrend. This won't be another giant 30% dip that we saw last time, I don't think. I think we're going to do another one of these impulse waves and then move onto the upside up to 50k. I think 50k is inevitable in the short term.
Yep.
I can't see, especially since we just tested 49.5, we moved down, we built some support and some resistance, and now we're going to keep moving up to the upside.
Yep.
We will
Look,
see.
honestly, healthy price action.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely,
yeah.
super healthy.
Scary when it breaks down underneath 46k, but 50,000 is such a huge psychological barrier. You can honestly only expect a rejection onto building up to it, but super
Definitely.
bullish.
Half
It's
100k,
Yeah, it's been bought straight away back up, and looking super bullish again.
Yeah. You guys got any questions? You guys got any statements you have about this price action?
Yeah, we'll jump into a bit of Ethereum news and Bitcoin news. We have a few statistics just to show that this is really going to be a non-event, and the next week or so still going to be super bullish.
Yeah. How about we, for the rest of the stream, we'll keep an eye on the Ethereum Bitcoin charts. We'll talk about the news that you mentioned.
Yep.
And maybe we'll go on to our top 4 altcoin picks
Yeah,
for
true.
these next few weeks.
Yep.
There's some big ones we really want to talk about. Hey, LCS top 5. I love your videos, by the way.
LCS top 5. I love your videos. Welcome to the stream, LCS top 5.
If you're in the league, go subscribe to LCS top 5.
Yeah.
He's got an eye for those plays in those pro league games. Have you guys checked out Lit? Yes, I have checked out Lit. I've heard so much about it in the past few weeks, but I never. I decided not to take a trade on it just because I was looking at other coins at the time. I do regret not buying it. It's done some awesome stuff, and well done for everyone who bought in. But I unfortunately didn't, and I haven't really looked at it too much in depth since either, because I'm still looking at other things. A lot of people talk about 100 to 150k Bitcoin. How many months/years before that happens? How much do you see Bitcoin increasing each month this year?
Great question. I really like that one, Jason.
Hey, Eddie.
Eddie, welcome everyone to the stream. Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of people talking 100 to 150k Bitcoin. How many months, years before that happens? How much do you see Bitcoin increasing each month this year? Do you want to answer first, or do you want me to have a crack at that one?
I guess we can both give our opinion on it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's really hard to tell with this price discovery, because I personally think that we're kind of moving out of the phase of speculation of Bitcoin to sort of belief. So I think there's a lot more people who have switched their sort of their system or mentality on Bitcoin from look what it could be to I believe it will be. So I definitely think in the next few months we will see it continue to rise and continue to move up all the way to 100 150k. So I do believe that. How many months/years? It's super hard to say. you know, there's so many factors involved with retail and institutional investors, and how rapid and how soon those kind of things happen. But yeah, that's what I have to say on that topic. What do you think?
Yeah, so Jason, when in doubt, I always come back to the stock to flow model. If you're not familiar with the stock to flow model, it is the most accurate, it has been the most accurate price predictor of Bitcoin for about 9 years. It was made by Plan B, the Twitter user Plan B, and it's based on the halving events of Bitcoin. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with Bitcoin and how it works in halving events, but every 4 years, roundabout, the mining reward that miners gets put in half, and generally after a halving event happens, you see the following 12 months a huge bull cycle to happen. So there was one last year, May 2020, and there was one in 2016, and we know what happened in 2017, and we know what's going on right now. Here to illustrate my point, let me zoom out on the stock to flow. You can see these sharp impulses at 12 months following every halving event. So can we expect 100 to 150k Bitcoin? My prediction is yes, and when we can expect it this year. And what's interesting, just while I'm on it, we've actually outran the stock to flow model by quite a bit at the moment. So honestly, maybe a bit of a bigger pullback would be expected, and perhaps healthy for the price. So it's expecting 100k Bitcoin by August this year. So what's that? 5 months away. About 5 months away now. I reckon in that same sort of time frame, we can expect 100k Bitcoin. 150k, it's anyone's guess. And we're going to see huge moves in the next 5 months, upwards and downwards. But if in doubt, my advice is always go back to the stock to flow. It's a great indicator of when to buy when it's beneath the trend line, and when to sell. So actually quite a bit above it, and that's just based off the Tesla news. We've absolutely exploded up. But yeah, August this year would be my guess for 100k. So
yep.
Yeah, stock to flow. It's a great indicator, and a great graph to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Another big thing to look at is just look at the big analysts in the game. Michael Van de Pop. Look at Willy Woo. He's another analyst for Bitcoin.
Max Kaiser's great.
Max Kaiser. Look at Michael Saylor. Look at Elon Musk. You know, they're very influential in the scene. So
Yeah.
make sure you just look at all the big names in crypto and the analysts. So.
And what's interesting is a lot of these big figureheads. Max Kaiser has a 220k. Michael Van de Pop, what's his
350? I think.
350k this year. Yeah, this bull run.
Yeah.
Raoul Paul has a $1 million target. I think Michael Saylor has a $5 million target or something ridiculous. And these aren't some crazy tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists. These are the top analysts and hedge fund managers that are spearheading the Bitcoin movement. And the data and analytics that they sort of back up their predictions from, you can't count them out. So I think 100k is a pretty
passive,
conservative estimate.
Definitely.
And I think we can expect to see it by August this year.
Yep.
So
definitely.
Welcome everyone to chat. We're just taking a look at the Bitcoin, Ethereum charts. We'll be doing a bit of altcoins a little bit later. We're going to look at Zilliqa. We're going to look at our top picks in the altcoin space. But we're just talking about the dip that we saw in the last 24 hours. If you missed what we were saying a little bit earlier, really healthy for both the price actions. Ethereum approaching 2,000 US, Bitcoin approaching 50,000. We can expect a few rejections around these major psychological levels.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. Welcome.
Any questions you guys have on the topics we've mentioned? Anything you guys want us to run over?
Yeah, let us know your portfolio allocations, and if you want us to touch on any altcoins. If you've been to a few of the other, yeah, he's great. Yeah, Michael Saylor is really great, and he has a great way of articulating the bull thesis on Bitcoin.
Definitely, if you can persuade Elon Musk.
We can really thank him for getting all these institutions into the game. So he really front-runned it, but I'm liking Zil a lot. Yeah, Zil's really nice. Oh, we got to look at the price action of Zilliqa over the...
We will. Zilliqa's actually, I'd like to see how Zilliqa's been performing against Bitcoin over the past couple of weeks. I'd like to see what it's done.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about any news?
I was gonna mention some of the Ethereum news and why I wouldn't be worried about any short-term dips and why we're so bullish of it in the next 48 hours to 1 week. Ethereum 2.0 deposit contract, it tops 5.5 billion in staked Ether. The amount deposited represents 2.67% of Ethereum's total supply, and I think of the circulating supply is something like 15%, or something ridiculous like that. So a few key things to know. Minimum 32 Ethereum in the deposit contract to become a node. When you stake your Ethereum, you get staking rewards based off the Ethereum. It's almost like transferring your dollars into a bank account and getting percentage returns on it like that way. That's the Ethereum version of that. But what we're seeing Ethereum continue to move into the staking contract. It's held for 18 months and it's getting sucked off exchanges. At the same time, we're seeing whales move huge amounts of Ethereum off of exchanges. So yeah, super bullish price action. We're seeing supply get tied up in places, which is good. Buyers are going to have to chase the price up. So yeah. Some other news not Ethereum related. ARK Invest, Kathy Wood, who's a fascinating investor who I'd recommend checking out. She's been bullish on Bitcoin for a long time. They had it in their ETFs when they first launched, but had to take them out based off like regulatory reasons and whatnot. But they're adding to their GBTC holdings and have added 2.14 million, which is good. Yeah, through Grayscale's Bitcoin Investment Trust, which has also been adding to Ethereum. They recently opened up their Ethereum fund and have been buying that up as well. So, yeah,
that's awesome. That's some big news.
Some big news and good to see. Very, very bullish.
Let's see. I've been liking a lot. Zil, been researching. Nice. Did you manage to buy in? I think, yeah, if you were on a last stream, you would have made some handsome profits and you still would be up quite a bit as well at this point. So yeah, kids with keyboard.
welcome, Ivan.
Honestly, pretty much.
Yeah.
But we're not financial advisors, but
we're
all here to learn something new. So.
And we've been in the crypto game for a while, and our business. We've been in the crypto game for a while. Let us know what your portfolio holdings are at the moment. Do we want to talk a bit about Zil?
Yeah, let's talk about Zilliqa.
Because it was scary. I said if it broke beneath 12.5 cents, we're in danger zone, which it did. But we saw it get bought back up quite quickly, which was very bullish. I said watch it very closely. If it does break below 12.5, it dipped to 11 cents and then was bought quite quickly back up. So yeah, what do you make of the recent Zilliqa price action?
Look, I'm super bullish on Zilliqa long term and medium term. I think I've got actually quite a bit of mine staked, and I'm going to be holding on to mine for a while. I see it retrace back, trading on these high for a while, trading on these Fibonacci levels. So if it pulled back to below this level, I'd be a little bit more paranoid. But its price action is still super bullish. I think we first mentioned it when it was at 6 cents or 5 cents, and this run up on Zilliqa was inevitable in my opinion.
Yeah. With
Cardano sprinting up to 90 only in the last week, sprinting up to I think maxing out at 94 cents.
Yep.
These smart contracts, scalable projects are inevitably gonna catch up to each other. So
yeah, the smart contract, all the Ethereum killers and anything that solves the problems that Ethereum is facing and that it's trying to fix through its Ethereum 2.0, they're just going to run to the upside. So we saw it happen with Cardano. We've seen it happen with Polkadot. It's gone from, was it $3 to, what did it peak out at, 25?
Polkadot,
29?
I think 29.
29. Yeah. And we're probably going to see Zilliqa follow the exact same pattern that Cardano and Polkadot has already unfolded for them. Just as people turn to these altcoins, mostly in the top 50, and as they work their way down looking for superior returns, we're going to see investors run to the ones that are solving the problems that Ethereum's facing. So yeah. Expect more upside from ZIL, and honestly the dip was probably just a reaction based off of what happened to Bitcoin. Everything sort of bleeds when Bitcoin bleeds.
Yeah.
When the king of all crypto,
course, yeah.
But it's getting bought right back up, like we saw with Ethereum, like we saw with Bitcoin. So
yeah. With so much, if you just need to take a look at the fear greed index. When we're in extreme greed, expect these dips quite regularly. Make sure that these dips aren't breaking all your support levels that you've laid out for yourself. Make sure you've set up your buy zones and your sell zones. Make sure you're taking profits up the way and then buying back into these dips just to ensure your profits are consistent.
Make sure you're taking profits along the way.
We bought up Ethereum. I bought up some Zilliqa on this little dip. I even chucked it back into staking. So, I wasn't too concerned this time. I feel like I like these times.
Not to get offended, I like these times when everyone can make millions with fancy internet money. 100%. Yeah,
definitely.
I think everyone loves these times. The key is knowing when to get in and when to get out, and risk management, though.
How to move around your portfolio, how to properly diversify yourself.
Stops.
If you threw a dart and landed anywhere on the dartboard with crypto, there's a decent chance you would have made decent returns as long as you're investing in the sort of top 100, top 150 zone. The aim of the game really is to try maximize your profits from this run, because you can just invest in anything and make profits, but you can move your profits around and work with the cyclical nature of the market caps flowing between Bitcoin and altcoins, and even maximize your returns to a further, by taking up altcoins when altcoins are brewing and booming and Bitcoin's still consolidating, and then while vice versa, trading between them. So
yeah,
that's the main reason why we look at altcoins a lot of time is to increase our funds in Bitcoin. So
yeah, so everyone can make millions with fancy internet money. I feel like the name of the game is finding the altcoins that are going to outperform the big ones. So ones that are going to run up against Ethereum and ones that are going to run up against Bitcoin. Because at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people are looking at altcoins just for the superior returns. And that's why we look towards altcoins, because some of the smaller cap projects that are flying under the radar somewhat, which I would say Zilliqa 100% is, they have the potential to just run hard and get much superior returns to Bitcoin. But at the same time, they also come with a greater amount of downside risk. Generally, they pretty much like leveraging yourself on Bitcoin. If it moves up, they're going to move up at a higher pace. If they move down, they're going to bleed a little bit more than the big ones. But yeah, that's the name of the game, trying to increase your stacks at all points. But some reasons to be bullish on Zilliqa, besides the price action we've seen on the other Ethereum killers that have solved the issue of scalability. And if you look into Zilliqa, they have a cool technique of sharding. That's their way of solving scalability, and the way that it could become a transaction network and through not getting clogged. But we're seeing some institutional investment in Zilliqa, and I saw a research report out that they have a 35-cent price target in the next few months, which I think is 100% in play, which would be awesome. I shared that on our poll, and someone told me that one of my subscribers told me they'd be a millionaire if Zilliqa runs to 35 cents. So
really?
They must have loaded up.
Go.
Yeah, let's go.
Was he on our stream? You can't tell.
I can't tell. I think he must have watched one of our early streams, but he said if Zilliqa runs up to 35, he'll be a millionaire. But that's the institutional price target on Zilliqa, so I think it's in play. Just wait for it not to get flown under the radar.
Even a lot of the analysts are saying like $3 to $7, moving up to like 100 times. So
yeah, and a good point, Grant, you made to me earlier was that a good way to pick these altcoins is to see what the big analysts in the game, so your Michael Van de Poppe, your Ben Cohen, the people that live and breathe cryptos, what they're talking about, what they're generating noise about, and what they're generating interest in, because generally you don't even need to have a huge amount of knowledge on a project. You just need to know what projects are making noise, and what what's generating interest. Would you agree with that?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that. I first got into Bitcoin back in 2017 during the first run-up. Obviously, I lost a lot and realized I had no idea what I was doing. Been studying hard since then. I was a lot more ready this time. That is something we're seeing from everyone that they're saying. Everyone's looking at it a lot more closely and kind of learning about what they're investing in this time, which is a good thing. I think that will bring in adoptability and people seeing the real use case of cryptos, like with issue flaws in the financial system and a lot of what crypto has to offer that the monetary system is missing. So yeah, that's really good to hear. Show me next Zilliqa killer.
Who knows what the next Zilliqa killer is?
Algorand, it could be Algorand. That could, if they move in that direction, it could be them.
Yeah, Algorand. I don't know if there is a next Zilliqa killer, because as it is now, it'll have to scale to the point where we see the problems with it, if it does have problems. What are the issues facing Zilliqa, and what will be the next generation crypto to solve them? As of right now, it doesn't have any problems, so there is no Zilliqa killer. But
we mainly look at cryptos nearing in the top 100, top 50 zone. So if the crypto is just below the below the top 100 or top 150, I usually don't even bat an eye. I might read into it and then say, oh, that's a really interesting project. At least it's in the back of my mind, so I can maybe look at it in a later time. If it comes up again and it's moving up, then I'll show more interest. But if there is a killer, and it's very low, I probably don't know about it. So
yeah.
Any more questions, guys? These are some good statements and questions. It's nice to know, we're all in this together. So
yeah, just back to what Sean said about being more than ready this time and studying hard since then. I feel like a lot of the people, it's different to 2017, because 2017 had so much retail interest and so many retail investors move into the market. And what happened at the end of 2017 and January 2019 was sort of a result of that. So what's interesting is I think this time's very different just based off the institutional investments. I don't think we're going to see a drop back to $20,000, back to I don't think we're going to see these huge drops because of all these institutions in it. I don't think they allow that to happen. So yeah, an interesting point that you make. And I feel like a lot of people are much more cautious and maybe a bit battle hardened from what happened in 2017. They saw these huge drops and they saw like they've been through it. They've been through it and they're ready for it. They're ready to hold through it. So yeah, good point. Serbo's Coloraz, if you're a woman for a day, what would you do? Great question.
Still be buying crypto and watching the graphs. If I was a woman for a day, I would still be watching cryptos.
I would be watching crypto and trying to make bags, trying to make some coins. That's what I'd be doing, at least at the moment while the market's so hot. So that's what I'd be doing.
Boys, thanks for your time in trolling.
Place from Europe.
Were we trolling?
No worries. Thanks, Ivan, for joining the stream. It was good to have you. Good to see you.
Yeah. Some interesting comments.
Yeah, some interesting comments out from the Europe crowd. We get a lot of Europeans around this time when we stream, just because I think it's peak watching time.
Yeah.
For those of you that are new to the stream, we're from Sydney, Australia. We run a small business. We converted our entire cash balance sheet into crypto halfway through last year. I've been following the price action and movements closely, and we stream and run channels based off the price action and news.
What is the best exit strategy? Would you recommend swapping on Ledger using Changli? Swapping on Ledger using is Ledger some sort of trading indicator built? Sorry, is Changelly? I don't even know if I'm reading that. Is some sort of trading indicator on Ledger? Is that what that is?
Using Change Alley. Not sure what Change Alley is. Let us know what it is. But back to your first question, what is the best exit strategy? Love talking about this, and we'll put up a few videos in the last week based off. I did one on Raoul Paul and one on Michael Saylor and what their exit strategy is. They're super optimistic about Bitcoin, and I would take maybe a bit more of a conservative approach. When you're not a billionaire or 100 millionaire like these guys, you have to take different positions because you're in different financial situations, and it's all based on the premise of what is your entry strategy. So, if you're long-term buy and hold, you think Bitcoin's going to take the place of gold, you never sell. You hold it forever. You borrow against it when you need USD shitcoins or any sort of fiat money, and you try and hold it forever. If you're trying to trade it, that becomes completely different. You want to be taking incremental profits along the way, and you're going to be wanting to set tight stop losses in the crypto markets so you don't get completely wiped out. And I wouldn't be touching personally any sort of leverage trading unless you're super experienced with it.
Yep.
Because you can get liquidated again and again and again and over and over and over, and wipe out a lot of hard-earned gains trading on leverage. So
Definitely. If you're planning exiting sooner, look at your technical indicators, watch your Fib retracements, and look at the fear greed index, and just watch when there's a. If you're not familiar with the fear greed index, it's a super good analytic to look at when you're trading. If you're trading, definitely trading, especially trading in the short term. I do a lot of trading on altcoins. I very rarely move my Ethereum Bitcoin around, as Jamie said. I'm in it for the long term. But yeah, just trade on your Fib signals, trade on your support levels, and just watch them, make sure it's not breaking down to the downside through them. So yeah, that would be my advice. What are your thoughts on Litecoin? Let's just move down, I guess.
What are your thoughts on Litecoin?
We understand the hype around Litecoin and why one would want to buy it, because it has been one of the biggest names since 2017, but I feel like it is stuck in a strange gray zone between being one of the most highly adopted cryptos like Ethereum, Bitcoin, and being one of the small up-and-coming new technology cryptos. So it's just in this really awkward stage. I still would definitely understand, the hype, why you would buy it. I personally don't trade or hold it, but that's just my opinion. I have seen some good stuff about it recently, and its price action isn't.
This is like on Bitcoin.
That's been bleeding against Bitcoin.
Yeah, I just wanted to pull up this graph to illustrate my point on Litecoin, because we do get the question every now and then, and I almost feel bad talking about it because there's a lot of Litecoin holders. But
yeah, I know. I agree.
I hate Litecoin. I think it's is it even still in the top 10? I know it got knocked out for a while, but I'm not a fan. I think there's a lot of better places. So it's number 8 at the moment. I think there's a lot better places for your money. I used to be super bullish on Litecoin for the one reason that when PayPal and Squared added cryptocurrencies to Cash App and their companies, they added 4 different types of cryptocurrencies. So that was Bitcoin, it was Litecoin, it was Bitcoin Cash, and it was Ethereum. So I bought a basket of them. I held Litecoin. It made up a decent amount of my portfolio. But after doing some more research into it and just watching the price action against Bitcoin, which is a very important chart, it's just bleeding against it. I don't think we're ever going to see it reach the same ratio it had against Bitcoin back in 2017.
Agreed.
Look how high Bitcoin is above its all-time high. And Litecoin's, has it even hit half of it yet?
It's still a fraction of a percentage.
Litecoin is very similar to Bitcoin, except it always performs worse than Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes up, Litecoin doesn't go up as much, but when Bitcoin goes down, Litecoin goes down more. So it's a worse performing asset than Bitcoin, and it solves none of the problems that Bitcoin face, that Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, all these other altcoins already do. So that's my opinion on Litecoin. Maybe you can trade it, maybe you can make a few bucks, but if I don't like something fundamentally, I generally want to stay away from it, and that is Litecoin. Not a fan of any of the huge Bitcoin forks, to be honest.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah.
And in this top 10, we will see Chainlink flip Litecoin. We will see, we will see Chainlink even flip XRP. So, Litecoin will just go down and down in coin market cap, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It should definitely be snuffed out to, the top 20 in the, between 10 and 20, in my opinion.
Yeah, Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, and let's not forget, because they're hard forks, there's no one working on them. They're not going to be improved at all. Whereas you look at Cardano, you look at Chainlink, you look at Polkadot, these are all projects that have huge teams and huge groups of intellectuals standing behind it and working behind it and improving the projects constantly. So better places to have your money than in Litecoin, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah. And just while we're on it, hugely important chart to look at is whatever coin you're holding against Bitcoin, because if it's performing badly against Bitcoin, why are you holding it? You might as well just be holding Bitcoin if it's just constantly breaking down against the Bitcoin price. So, which is exactly what Litecoin's doing. So yeah.
Yeah. What was next on the line?
What do you think Ethereum will reach? Are you bullish? Oh yeah, American watching from Canada. Yes, very nice, very nice.
You can swap on Ledger. I think you mentioned it a little. What do you think ETH will reach? Are you bullish? Super bullish on ETH, guys. Look at its technicals. We're moving up higher highs, higher lows. We just recovered from our support level that we've drawn since around the beginning of Feb. We're still moving to the upside. I don't think we break the support level. I think we still move up onto the upside and test 2,000. I think it's inevitable at this point.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable. This is what I think happens to Ethereum over the next maybe 48 hours. I thought the momentum was too strong and we were going to blast past 2,000 and we were going to be sitting around 2,100 for Valentine's Day. Unfortunately, we didn't see that. We saw a rejection at 2,000, so that becomes even stronger resistance, not just off the psychological number that 2,000 represents, but also because we've been rejected once there now, it becomes stronger. So what do I think? I think we tested a few more times. I think we see it develop a trading range, but in my opinion, with ETH 2.0, with the amount of supply we're seeing get sucked off exchanges, it's a foregone conclusion that we'll see over $2,000. And I think at some point this year, we'll see a $5,000 to $6,000 Ethereum. If you want to know why, I would check out one of my videos analyzing Raoul Paul's valuation of it based on Metcalfe's law. He has a $20,000 price target. I think that's a little too bullish. It's based off the previous Bitcoin cycle and the amount of adoption that we're seeing from Ethereum compared to Bitcoin. But I think what he was missing was that Bitcoin ran way too hard and it had no business being at 20,000 last bull cycle. So I think we will see a $5,000 to $6,000 Ethereum this year. Probably August would be my best guess. Yeah.
Changelly has partnered with Ledger to swap coins. I am assuming the fee is very substantial. I see you said it a little bit lower.
0.5%.
Look, if you're trading, swap fees is very, very important, especially if you're looking to just hold and you're looking to only sell here and there. Should you just hold if you're even going to trade here and there anyway? If you're going to trade frequently, you should just use an exchange at 0.1%. Yeah, I mean, 0.5 isn't too bad. I'd still use an exchange though, just to keep those fees down because it does add up over the long term, especially if you're going to be trading quite regularly. That's the way to do it. Never to sell and borrow against your crypto. Not necessarily. I would borrow against crypto just to enhance your gains, but that's also just same point as leveraging. If you want to expose yourself to that kind of risk, go for it. But
Sean, I 100% agree with that. That's what the richest and most successful people have always done. You hold an asset, you hold it forever, you hold the apex asset, which at the moment is Bitcoin. You never sell it, and when you need fiat money, you borrow against it and you use that money. So yeah,
never
100%,
sell.
I agree.
I thought you meant don't sell and don't borrow. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I agree.
No,
with you.
no, yeah. So yeah, never sell, especially when we're talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, the big ones that have a huge future ahead of them.
Yep.
Any comments on Elrond? Have you looked a bit about it?
Elrond, yeah, it's in the top 20 now, or top 30 maybe. I don't know much about
Made
it.
to 36.
Do you know anything about anything?
I don't know
Elrond?
much about it besides for Elrond. It's from Lord of the Rings. That's why I kind of stayed away from it. That's like the meeting place of the like fellowship or something.
Oh, is it? Look at that price action. It's not great over the last month.
Yeah, over the last month is breaking down. Oh no, no, it's not. I mean, over the last week it's not pretty, but over the last month it's beautiful for beautiful for holders. It's gone from about $37 to
Which one is
$130.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
But we saw it smash past $200 and then start to break down. So look, the weekly chart's pretty ugly, and it looks like that's very
That'd
ugly.
be the entire market. Not even over the past week. So yeah, no. Over the last 24 hours, the entire market bad, but
yeah, so that's the dip, and it got bought back up like the rest of the market, but now it's dipping again, which is what we're not seeing on bigger coins such as Ethereum or even Zilliqa. So,
what are your thoughts on Card?
Short term, it doesn't look great.
What are your thoughts on Cardano at the moment? Let's pull up Cardano's graph. I think $1 Cardano is inevitable. I'm still holding my Cardano from a long time ago. Yeah, look, this Cardano looks like it's broken through its support level of that uptrend of high highs, high lows. It looks like we made, I think Cardano might have been affected a little bit more than a lot of the other altcoins. It looks like, which is expected because Cardano definitely took a lot of the gains from all the other cryptos in this little run.
Yeah.
In this little run up. I think this pullback was inevitable, but I also think $1 Cardano is inevitable. So,
and we've seen a run up from 30 cents to it got to 94 cents, like in this absolutely parabolic move over the last month. So honestly, a pullback like that we're seeing now, it's honestly holding up decently for such a huge parabolic move.
Yeah.
So if I was a holder of Cardano, I'd keep holding it. It's such a promising project.
Yeah.
And I would feel almost comforted by the fact that it's holding up so well in the face of like what's going on with Bitcoin and Ethereum in the short term. So
as for a buy,
so
I definitely just watch it for a bit. I can't recommend whether you should buy or sell. I think this is a risky fork in the road for Cardano. I don't think we break down massively on it. I just think that it might be outperformed in the short term by other cryptos when they have their run up. So that's a decision you'll need to make if you want to hold on to it, stake it, leave it in the bag for a while until it gets to $1 or $2, and then kind of make your decision then.
Yeah.
You have $2,000.
Serboz.
What cryptocurrencies do you invest in for long-term gains? No, Joe. We have preached a lot about diversifying your portfolio and how you should split up your portfolio. We always would usually say, I think recently we've been saying in our portfolio we would recommend keeping, in terms of this 2,000, maybe 750 on Bitcoin, 750 on Ethereum to break up the 75% of your portfolio, and then that 25% you can kind of split between certain projects that you really like in the top 100, top 50 that are relatively have a lot of potential to outperform Bitcoin in the short to long term and outperform a lot of the other cryptos in the top 50. And kind of split that last 25% up into 2 or 3, maybe 4 projects. So what specific projects would we say? What do you? We'll both give our own opinion on that.
Yeah. So you have $2,000. Yeah, I'm pretty much going to back up what Grant said. I would put about 70% of that allocation into Bitcoin. If you're into crypto and not holding any Bitcoin, I would reevaluate. It's always going to be the safest bet. With the amount of institutional interest that we're seeing, the upside is still there. And it now has, I would argue, a limited downside based off the institutional interest. so 70% and then maybe 15% into Ethereum. That's super bullish with everything we're seeing, especially with ETH 2.0. Whales remove it from exchanges. And the remaining 15% I'd break up between maybe 2 to 3 of your most bullish or most interesting altcoins. I would stick to probably the top 100 to top 50. In my opinion, I would put it in Zilliqa, half of it in Zilliqa, and then half of it into Reef. They're two very interesting projects. A lot of analysts are kicking up a lot of noise about it. I feel like there's going to be a lot more generated interest about these two projects, and they're going to outperform Bitcoin and Ethereum over the next, next week.
Yeah.
What would you be holding as your altcoins?
Well, as I said, I reckon a 75% equal split between Ethereum and Bitcoin, and then a 25% that would be split up. I agree with Jamie. Definitely Zilliqa. Most definitely Reef. I think Reef is one of those ones that can go from a 1% of your portfolio to a 10 or 15%, just blow up out of nowhere, just like Doge did. But I would still definitely hold probably that 25%, maybe 10% in Chainlink or Polkadot in those big caps, and then that other 15% split between Zilliqa, Reef, and Kusama. So those cryptos I've mentioned
Kusama.
My super bullish picks for altcoins.
Interesting.
Do you guys have any questions about any of those cryptos?
I have a question on Kusama. Give us the bull case on Kusama, because
I had a price target of 250 on Kusama, which I think is still. I actually think I put that price target when it was at $97 or $96. And it's had a run up to it had ran up to 170, I think, in this little alt season. So I'm going to raise my estimate to, I'd say, about a 350. I really think it has some massive potential to reach the top 20 in one of the top 20 positions. So yeah, price target initially 250. I'm going to raise it up to 350.
Interesting. Bro, we're seeing some very nice price action with Bitcoin at the moment. A little bit of a scare this morning,
but it's healthy and it's not unexpected.
But it's very healthy, yeah, very healthy.
And we're drawing some amazing support. It may have dropped a little bit too low, but the fact that it instantly recovered itself and broke that back through that support level is a really good sign. And Bitcoin, yeah, I think that is the indicator. That was a buy indicator. We both bought in during this little drop, and yeah.
What platform do you prefer, Binance or Bybit or anything else? We both currently use Binance, and we also use Binance to buy our small businesses cryptocurrencies. Honestly, whatever has good liquidity on the platform, so there's not huge differences between the buy and sell orders, and anything with 0.1% brokerage, and you're loving it. I would recommend Binance. However, I have wanted to look into decentralized exchanges, just because I think they're really interesting, and there could be there can be some interesting things done on them. So getting educated on these decentralized exchanges, I think, is a good idea, and something I'll definitely be looking into over the next few weeks.
Binance, I would definitely recommend if you're just looking to buy and sell and hold. Bybit, more for leverage users. I think the liquidity on leverage buys is a lot higher.
That's even better.
I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong about that. Just double check. Yeah, as Jamie said, Binance. I was thinking of getting a full Ethereum coin. Would it be intelligent, considering it really depends on how much money you want to invest? Don't look at how many coins. Look at how much value you're looking to invest, as opposed to your total fiat value. So what do I say? Like your bank account balance. Just don't invest anything you're not willing to lose. So if you need to pay rent and your rent's $400 and you've only got $500 and you need $200 more to buy that Ethereum, I wouldn't recommend it. So don't look at your amount of cryptos, look at how much money you're investing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, don't get caught up with I'm only holding This is why a lot of people love Dogecoin, and I feel like get sucked into the sucker trap of buying Dogecoin, because what sounds cooler, owning 0.001235 of Bitcoin or owning 14 million Dogecoins?
You can be a millionaire in Dogecoins, but
yeah, like, I mean, what sounds more interesting to retail holders? Like, clearly it's holding 1.4 million Dogecoins, especially when you have people pumping it on Twitter and Reddit saying it's going to reach the price of Bitcoin one day. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, don't get caught up in holding full coins or whatnot. Look at the percentage of your portfolio. So yeah, break it up. If 20% of your portfolio ends up equaling say 2,000, say 1 Ethereum, I'd go for it. If not, maybe look at buying only a portion of one, and then yeah, diversifying it out. It's the name of the game with crypto, especially with altcoins.
Yeah, I like your ideas on diversity. Yep, definitely. I would definitely, especially in the crypto scene, definitely recommend putting at least, or at most 5% of your portfolio in these little coins that you really have a lot of faith in. More, I would definitely recommend in the top 100, but cryptos in that top 100 space that you really like and really think are going to go up, because that could end up taking up 15% of your portfolio.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I'm really happy with Bitcoin, with Binance so far, so that's good. Yep.
Yeah, Binance is honestly really good. It's really annoying, the random outages that they have. I remember they had a big outage when Bitcoin went ballistic, and everyone was rushing to the platform, and it even put in a huge red candle just on the Binance platform just because it crashed.
Yeah.
And people trying to get on and sell it because they didn't know what was going on. So besides for that, but they must be dealing with unprecedented volume at the moment. So yeah.
That's why decentralized exchanges are also good, because you lose that that potential for the exchange to go down, but then
break.
If there's that much liquidity, your fees will go up and transfer fees will go up and time will go up. So there's pros and cons to both centralized and decentralized exchanges. ADA is below 0.85. Yes, indeed it is. Oh wait, 0.85. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 0.82 or 3 or something.
Yeah, ADA is an interesting one, and proceed with caution is my only advice to any Cardano holders or traders. It's in such a precarious situation after its run up recently that it's hard to guess when's a good time to go long on it, or if you're trading it, when is a good time to sell. Just when it has such huge explosive moves, you can expect big volatility. And I imagine that's what we're going to see. Oh, this is what we haven't got to yet. If you guys have not looked at this chart, you need to look at it, guys. You guys need to be looking at this chart. Really study this one and take it on board. If you haven't been looking at this one today, what are you doing?
I don't know. We're getting up to this one.
Jokes aside. Jokes aside,
if you guys can't see what's happening here,
if you guys can't see or make sense of this graph, you guys need to study up on your cryptocurrency knowledge.
We're being sarcastic.
Yeah, we're being sarcastic just because this graph looks extremely confusing. But pretty much what you need to know from this graph, and Glassnode is a great statistics and analytical Twitter account to follow in regards to cryptocurrencies. But what this is showing, which is why this bull run is completely different to previous years, is that Bitcoin is still flowing out of, it's not flowing out of miners' wallets at the same rate as it was in other bull cycles. So you can see in these other bull cycles following the halving events, we saw huge influxes of supply to exchanges from miners so that they could sell it. And let's jump ahead to where we are now. We're hitting Bitcoin all-time highs, and what are we seeing? We're seeing nothing, absolutely nothing. Miners, even with these huge price movements, they're not selling, they're still holding their Bitcoin. So even the people that are mining Bitcoin, they're super bullish on it, and they're holding it on with a iron grip. So yeah, it's really interesting to see that. And like when you look at statistics and analytics like this, it doesn't get any more bullish. So
yeah,
to the moon when you see things like this. Yeah, until we even see it return to the trend line, I wouldn't be worried about it. And another interesting thing I saw today, we actually mined Bitcoin ourselves, and it's been really high at the moment. I saw a statistic today. Today, the Bitcoin profit rate was the highest it's ever been. It hit an all-time high. So miners,
Wow, really?
yeah, so all miners around the world are getting paid in terms of fiat money, the most they've ever been getting compensated for mining. This is despite the halvings and whatnot. But what chart is that called? This is the miner outflows chart. I'd follow Glassnode. He posts it pretty regularly. But it's a really interesting one to keep an eye on. When you see this sort of return to the trend line, then I'd start to sweat and maybe think about leveraging out of crypto a bit. But at the moment, when we're not seeing it, which is what you would expect with such high prices.
Start to sweat.
I'd start to sweat. Yeah, I'd start to be sweating my crypto bags. But yeah, that's interesting because I noticed that our miners are going absolutely ballistic in terms of mining Bitcoin, and even with that, it's more profitable than ever to mine and then sell your Bitcoin on exchanges. But that's not what we're seeing. So, yeah, insane. This time is different. Everyone's been saying it, but it really is different.
Just to update you guys. Yeah, just update you guys. We've got Jamie Tree here and ShizoCrypto. Yeah, I'm 2 subs off 300, so
yeah,
just make
everyone
sure to subscribe
watching,
to both of us.
If you want to subscribe to Grant, he is the first link in the description. He does a lot of technical analysis. He gave buy signals on Polkadot at $4. He was saying buy Cardano at 30 cents, and he was telling us to buy Zilliqa at 5 cents. So go subscribe. He gives great buy signals, and I'd recommend it. Awesome.
Thanks for that.
Thanks, Sean. It's always great to have you in the live streams. And Reborn GFX, new to the channel, really enjoying the stream, very informative and chill.
Sure.
Thanks, Reborn. Welcome to the live stream. It's great to have you here. But yeah, I would be keeping an eye on analytics like this. You really want to watch the inflow. This is for Bitcoin, and it also goes for Ethereum as well, because when we see Ethereum get, what we see generally is a trend. As we see supply get sucked off exchanges, we see a delayed reaction before the price explodes. So before we saw Ethereum blast into 1800 and through the huge parabolic move it had, we saw whales move tons of Ethereum off exchanges into cold storage, and we saw a huge uptick in the ETH 2.0 staking contract, and then I think it was about a week and a half later we saw that parabolic move. So it's interesting that you can see these things play out, and there's sort of a delayed reaction to it also. So yeah. Yeah, was there anything else here?
Any other cryptos you guys want to talk about or have any questions on anything we've mentioned thus far? We've spoken about our predictions for both Ethereum and Bitcoin in the short term. We've drawn some support levels and where we think it's going to be headed. So if you guys have any more questions on any of these topics, let us know.
Yeah, we might wrap it up. We might close it off here. We're just seeing some great price action on Ethereum. So if you're an Ethereum holder, if you're a Bitcoin holder, I'd feel very comforted by what we've seen play out since the dip this morning. And for all the reasons previously mentioned, I wouldn't be sweating it. I'd be a very happy holder. Zilliqa too.
Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on this as well. The Grayscale Ethereum Trust. So Grayscale has, for people that don't want to invest in Ethereum directly but still want exposure to Ethereum, this is a trust ran by Grayscale. They're an asset management firm, and they have their Ethereum, and they've been adding
I don't know why he said that.
and they've opened it up recently, and are continuing to add to it. So more, and the Ethereum that these guys buy is going to be, it's going to act as cold storage. It's not going to be put back onto supplies. So yeah, 53,000 Ethereum was added yesterday.
Why are we locked in semen retention zone?
Snowballs, Colorados, you guys
Good
ever
to
heard
see
of
the
Seymour
folks
Extension?
doing
You
their
guys
thing.
seem locked in your zone. Good for you. Thank you, thank you.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, we
Did it
might.
roast us? I don't know if it roasted us.
I don't know.
Any last questions before we wrap this up, guys? Thanks for coming to the stream.
Yeah.
We'll be streaming. Try to stream every day.
Every day for the next
This
few
week.
weeks.
These next few weeks will be super important for crypto. So, make sure you're watching the stream. And make sure you tune in when you see our notification. Yeah, we'll quickly put on our outro music. If there's any last questions, we'll answer it for now. But
yeah, thanks for coming along. We're going to work on some more videos for the channels. Thanks for coming by. It's going to be interesting watching the price action play out. I think we're in the clear from this dip that recently happened. But for now, I think we'll leave it there, guys. Look into it. We will. Thanks for letting us know. All right, catch you later, guys.
see you guys.
Thanks for the good vibes. See you, Sean. Love having